Hi guys. Today the main topic is the the how x86 looks like. Um, Actually, if you're like front-end engineer, you just have no opportunity to learn about some kind of x86 architecture or those kind of thing. And before learn talk about like x86 architecture, but you have to learn about like fundamental computer architecture thing. So, and what I mean fundamental architecture is if you when you're trying to build some kind of operating system, you will learn about how to make um, bootloader. So bootloader is kind of like the after the software after the BIOS, and this is the form here. And the bootloader is the first software after the BIOS, and the purpose of the bootloader is just to boost your computer. And of course, the bootloader is the one who finds the operating system kernel image, it's sent to the RAM, and that's very simple, right? And so bootloader is the first software after the in your computer. Um, the the fundamental of bootloader is it it actually has to be stored in the hard disk rather than RAM because it has to keep it has this has to be keep it this has to be alive even though I turn off my computer. So it normally is stored in the floppy disk or hard disk, um, and the hard disk is stored as in the master boot record. The reason why master boot record, so MBR. So the master boot record is the first sector. Master boot record is first sector of the hard disk, which is size is 120 byte, 100 byte, and 46 byte or 44 byte was like validation or those kind of things. So and why we have to learn about some kind of bootloader thing? First of all, you have to learn about how to what's the process in real world and word, and the reason why you have to learn you should make some kind of like those kind of like bootloader thing is um because learning about like memorizing the computer architecture theory is not practical. And so a lot of class even here computer architecture, it is a professors that teaches about some kind of like some kind of how to say the math formula and how to get a clock cycle based on some kind of given equation, and that's really stupid. Or all of thing has to be practical. And so so my what I'm suggesting is my recommendation is to make something. Bootloader is a software that before operating system, and which means that it has the high it communicates with the hardware um, it directly, and so you have to learn about some kind of like in x86 architecture, BIU, EU, and the register of it, and PC, the program counter, and the instruction pointer register, and code segment register. Because and there's also a formula of that. There's a formula of getting the memory address, which is this part, the physical address equals the segment times 16 plus offset. Um, and there was but the very sad thing is I talk about this kind of formula to the professor, and he literally don't know what is real mode, and that is really made me really upset. Even computer architecture professors don't know what is the real mode and what is the purpose of learning about computer architecture in the class. There's no reason of it, but whatever. So if you look at the basically so there's no like processing in the in your computer. I mean, like without the operating system. If the hardware part with assembly, there's no such a thing of process. So the CPU, the processor can only when you read and execute, only execute the instruction per time, and these instructions um, um, has to be the stored in the memory, and this memory is stored in the memory. So after storing memory, and it has to be the zip processor has to fetch from the memory. That and so this kind of process is called a fetch, and after fetch it has to be decode because when you're trying to put into memory, right into the memory, it requires some kind of like encode. So after decode, you do the execute thing. So that's gonna be doing those kind of things. And also in x86 architecture, you put the 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 some kind of instruction into queue, which is called process queue, because while doing the work, it has while doing the fetch thing, it has to be like doing the execute or decode whatever to maximize the time. So like this is a real process of it. So I implement real mode with physical mode, and also I implement others decoding part, the number of chips, chip select bits, and like decoder. And also I made a truth table based on the array. So that's already kind of process thing. So uh, I don't know. Today I'm really tired, so I'm just gonna end this video. So this is it. Have a nice day. See you next time. Bye bye.